you're going to handle Louisville. So let us know what you think about the Cardinals.
Yeah, Louisville picked the right time to play the baseball that Dan McDonnell wanted them to play all year. They had a good season, obviously, 15-15 in the ACC, but there were moments throughout the year where they were battling injuries, both on the pitching staff and in the lineup. They were down to, freshmen and redshirt freshmen behind the plate, had a lot of inconsistency, particularly on the road. They go to, Nashville. They draw the number one national seed, and they take care of business. They look incredible on the mound. They play crisp, clean defense. They have enough timely hitting. And, they kind of cruised through that. They took care of Wright State. Just a really, really good weekend. And it set up kind of a tricky – they got to play at home in Supers, which was obviously unexpected. But they draw Miami, who they hadn't faced in the regular season. Really competitive game, competitive series that came down to one swing, really.
Right.
Which kind of tees off, with Eddie King Jr. as the player to watch for Louisville. And I think what's really great about Eddie King Jr. is he was a really good second-half player last year. Comes into this year, obviously returning for his senior year, didn't get drafted. Comes into his senior year and gets off to a really poor start. I think he's hitting something like 150, 180 through his first 13 games. Flips that switch. He's hit 400 in his 39 games since, and he's hit 545 in the postseason so far. So I think if they're going to have a good week here, it really starts with him providing some thump, because they can score in a lot of different ways. That's the Louisville identity. Yeah. But Eddie King Jr. is a key piece in the middle of the lineup. And then when we talk about the pitching, it starts with Patrick Forbes. Obviously, that's a pitching matchup we're circling with Forbes and probably Dax Whitney. And Forbes at his best, which we've seen throughout the year and particularly lately, he's able to fill up the zone, limit the walks. If he's able to do that here, it's going to lead to a lot of success. We saw, with Florida State's pitchers, you can get some swing and miss from Oregon State's lineup. So that's going to be key for him. And that kind of leads into what they need to do to win it all is just follow that pattern. Timely hitting, good execution when they need to score runs, and then just keep leaning into that pitching staff that really struggled in the regular season as they dealt with injuries and shuffling. I think 5.8 ERA. But in the postseason, when it's mattered the most, they've been dynamite, and that's going to be key for them.
I think that's going to be a really exciting matchup against Oregon State, two teams that have kind of different styles, Joe. And I know this is one that you're pretty familiar with the Beavers. You saw them late in the year. Yep. What's your take on that team and how they match up there?
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to hold a thought on Patrick Forbes because I'm going to skip to my pitcher to watch, and that's Dax Whitney. If that's going to be that matchup in Game 1 for Oregon State and Louisville, those are two guys that are similar in terms of they're throwing lightning bolts up there to the plate. Both guys also sometimes struggle with efficiency and getting deep into games. And it feels like, at the risk of being overly simplistic, the pitcher that's able to be most efficient and get into the game there, I think has the advantage in that situation.